Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Endless, and we're here for EDC Week 2. Last week, we suffered a bit of a rough loss with hacks on both sides to Frito. Although, I think I played that game very poorly in hindsight. So, it's more so, I'd say, my fault than the hacks itself. So, we're looking to bounce back this week against a strong opponent in Elly. Do apologize in advance about the sound quality in this one. I'm quite sick, so my voice is going to sound super nasally, but, not much can be done about it. I will say before we get into the matchup, you may notice I did make one small change to my team. I dropped Ampharos for Hatrim. This is a very minor change, but I decided I wanted the Healing Wish support and potential screens and Magic Bounce. And Ampharos doesn't really do much for me. It gives me a Flying Resist, which, as you'll see in this matchup, I kind of wish I had. Because I faced a lot of strong Flying types weeks 1 and 2, and there's another one on my schedule week 3, actually 2 in week 3, so Dragon Frost maybe a little risky, but I think Hatrim's support capabilities it provides are super nice to the team overall and worth the switch. So our opponent for week 2 is Elly, aka Elly Sucks, coach of the Shanghai Dragons, so pretty big name in the Wi-Fi community. I've played her, I think, once. I think it was an MBC in a season that was not uploaded, and she beat me pretty badly. So with that said, I'm looking for some revenge here. So diving into the matchup, her first pick is obviously Quaquaval, which is pretty scary. I mean, I do have a lot of good checks to it, though. I have Azu, Petch, Serena even, Gothitelle depending on Terra type, and Thunderous can obviously paralyze, which is really nice. So Quaquaval will be a lot scarier if it could Terra, but I think overall my matchup is just pretty solid here. Terra's issue is always scary. It's, in my opinion, maybe the best Terra captain in the format. As much as I love my beloved Gothitelle on this team, I think Terra's is just a little stronger overall. It's obviously most known for Calm Mindsets. Iron Defense, I think, could be really worrying here. Especially since my main way to force it out is Whirlwind Tinglu, and obviously it's weak to Matcha Gotcha, so it'll get worn down pretty quickly. And with its base 125 attack, even if I invested, Strength Stab is going to heal a ton of health onto this Isha. After that, we see Ursaluna, who is always scary. I mean, you don't switch into Ursaluna. It just doesn't happen. Even with fucking Tinglu, like, well, the bogus mons in the game, you do not switch into Ursaluna. So I'm going to make sure I keep the pressure on offensively so I don't just like straight sweep through my team. Especially if Screamtail gets up Trick Room. Screamtail is obviously a huge support mon. Can get rocks, can encore me into stuff. T-Wave, etc. It can set up. I don't think Screamtail's that great into me, so I don't think that's going to come. Rabombi exists for speed, I guess, and webs, so I do have to account for the webs this week and bring some... Oh, wait, no, never mind, I'm being stupid. So she does have webs, but webs actually don't affect my team that much. As you'll see on here, I mean, the only ones really affect are Kobani and Teleon, which, spoiler alert, I'm not actually bringing this game. Everything else is pretty slow already, or immune, or in Volcaro's case, it's almost always boots. And webs matchup is going to be boots no matter what. Then we see a Fortress. Fortress is fine. It's a defensive piece. Spins or at least attempts to spin away my hazards. Although with a Petron, it's kind of hard to pull off. It's here. And Juggus is another huge threat. As you can see by me dropping across, my Hurricane switch in is non-existent. So something like a Specs Juggus or even just like Booster is just really scary. Tinglu can switch into it, but he doesn't want to do so like 3 or 4 times in the game. So this thing's a problem. Also, its speed tier is really strong into me. Then we have Terra Arcanine, who I do think is really solid to me. Like, just offensively, I don't switch into fire that well. Outside of Azumarill, like, he always just run a Terra type to punch through that. So, even if it doesn't come, Arcanine's going to force a ton of prep on my side. Then we've got Garten Slowbro, who definitely is very good to me. Spinef sets check like Volcarona, Thunderous, Fizdef, Colbert, checks Azumarill. Just a nice blanket pivot into my team, which is something I'll have to be prepared for. And lastly, for like the mons I actually think have a shot coming is Bellable. It's just super fat. It's a really good Thunderous check. Decent Volcarona check. Switched into Inteleon. I don't think it's a great Azu check, honestly, because Azu just hits so hard it punches through this thing. But it's okay. It's a good mon, though. I don't think Frost is coming just because I don't think it provides that much to this team that there are 10 mons don't in this matchup, but theoretically it could. But looking on my side, Azumarill looks insane here. I mean, look at Azumarill and look at Choice Band Play Rough or Liquidation, or I think I actually went Waterfall in this game, but look at Choice Band and tell me what they do, especially if I run a lot of speed, which you'll see I did do. Also, Thunderous looks really strong here as well. Electric switch-ins are not great outside the Seisha and the Bellbolt. Bellbolt and Seisha both are likely to run physically defensive in this matchup for what they need to do, which opens up Thunderous to do a lot of damage. Volcarona is obviously crazy. I mean, the fire resists are not good on this team outside the Arcanine, and I definitely have ways to remove the Arcanine, as you'll see with my Gothitelle set later. So those are all pretty good. Overall, I think the matchup is slightly in my favor. I don't think it's heavily in my favor, but I think I definitely have some. I can generally check most of what she has going for her outside like the Jugglers and Arcanine 2 I'm really worried about. But other than that, I think I'm pretty well stocked for this matchup. So that's it. Let's get right into the team itself. First up, we do have our specially defensive Tinglu. Pretty basic set: Earthquake, Ruination, Stealth Rock, Whirlwind. I mean, this thing, it's even though Seisha is a super effectively, it's still like so fat. It takes hits from Seisha pretty well. It whirlwinds it out, makes sure it can't do stuff. Helps with Jugulis to an extent. Still not perfect. Obviously, I don't have a rock move on here, so my only way to hit while it stays is Ruination. So ideally, I don't end up in a last mon Jugulis versus Tinglu situation. That would be really bad. But I don't think I will. I think my gameplay is sufficient enough that shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, just starting that set's pretty basic. Whirlwind forces stuff around. Rocks are really nice for Jugulis Arcanine, especially if Arcanine isn't boots, which it might not be because I think if it's an offensive set. Yeah, just pretty reliable at what it does. And Ruination on a Fortress switch-in, try to spin my rocks is really nice because it has no recovery. Just knocking it down to half really opens up Azumarill for later. With that said, we have Azumarill here. So Azu is running Bandit this week because what does she do about Bandit Azumarill? I don't know. Player F is insane here. I'm going a lot of speed because I just want to catch anything slower. So be like a min speed Sinistra or whatever. I can't Arcanine, but min speed Seisha is the big one. Also, allows me to outspeed anything except Jolly or Sooner. I guess like I'm at max speed ties me. And I like Waterfall here because the damage difference doesn't really matter. And the flinch chance on Bellabolt or Goron Slowbro is much more useful than a defense drop, since I would just die anyway if they hit me back. So I pretty like this set. Just pretty basic. Just hits really freaking hard. And of course, Aqua Jet revenges things because that's what Azumarill does. Then we have kind of an interesting set here. We have Air Balloon, Terra Grass, Pecharunt. So for the record, this is never playing the Terra in the game, but I might as well give it a Terra type to force some prep. So Terra Grass is here, helps with Quack a bit, helps with Luna potentially, forces to 50-50s. The Air Balloon allows me to switch in on any Ursaluna, stab move, and I can Parting Shot out to get in something else to remove it. Ideally, you'll see with your Gothitelle. This thing's pretty, again, so these sets are very basic, but I just don't, especially with my draft, I don't need to be that creative to be effective. Special attack here, I believe, is so I 2-hit KO something with Malignant Chain. Might be Seisha or Bellabolt. It's been a while since I played this game, but there was a reason for it. And the Spadef lets me take, I'm pretty sure, like Guts Crunch pretty well from the Ursaluna if I have to, just in case that comes up in Trick Room. I don't think Crunch is that likely in this matchup unless she specifically predicts Balloon Patch, which she could. I mean, Balloon Patch is pretty obvious into Ursaluna, but we'll see. So, yeah, and into Fortress, because Fortress is basically paying me as EQ. So, that's pretty fine. Then we have our Life Orb Thunderous. Pretty basic again. Like, I didn't really have to cook that much this week. I just kind of brought stairs sets and just in the right permutation for the matchup. T-Bolt, Sludge Grass Knot hits the team really hard. T-Bolt, sorry. And then T-Wave is just here as a fail-safe against Quacklevolby, a Cure against Rabombi, Scarf Jugulis, Agility Archive, something. It's just a nice fourth move. I considered Volt Switch in this slot, but I figured with Life Orb and Rocks, I don't want to be chipping myself that hard with Volt Switch. So I just ran like 3 moves that keep me in and then Thunder Wave. And then we do have our Gothitelle this week, and this is our Water Gothitelle. So Terra Water Gothitelle with Psychic, Terra Blast, Taunt, and Rest. I guess it's pretty obvious that this here trap. This traps offensive Quackball, it traps Ursaluna, it also traps Arcanine, which is very important. Because once again, I think offensive Arcanites are very likely bringing to me. So we see it's very physically defensive. The speed on here is for no speed Sinistcha. It's for Sinistcha who's base 70 with a little bit. So like if the Sinistcha's rank 20 EVs or less in speed, I outspeed it, I can taunt it, which I think is really helpful. The rest is just in physically defensive bulk. Take on Arcanine, Quaquaval, Ursaluna. Psychic does 2-hit KO most Quaquaval variants, which is really nice. And Terra Blast allows me to just also 2-hit KO most Ursalunas. Or at least get it really well with the Flame Orb, which is good enough for what I need. And Resto Chestos allows me to get back up and keep letting them weaken themselves down with recoil on Arcanine or Ursaluna, or Warrior's defense is more of Quaquaval close combats once I Terra. So yeah, it's a pretty basic, but most of our really big threats are physical attackers, so I thought it was pretty important here. And lastly, we have a Volcarona. So this set is faster than. This set's faster than Quaquaval, I believe. Yeah, I didn't think it was worth creeping the Archives. I don't do that much with Psychic anyway. They have a ton of bulk, which allows us to live. Pretty sure it's like an Aqua Jet from Quack. Yeah, pretty sure it's like an adamant Aqua Jet from Quack or something. And just the rest special attack. So obviously it's a very bulky set here. I think that's fine. I mean, I don't think I need that much firepower to break through this team once I weaken things down. Yeah, it's pretty basic Volcarona, just with a bit more bulk than you usually see, and not a lot of special attack. So that will be the full team builder. That's everything. So we've got the Spadef Tinglu, the Bandit Azu with a bunch of speed, the Fizdef Petron with Air Balloon, the Life Orb Fundy, the Fizdef with a bit of speed, Terrawar Goth, and then the bulky Volcarona. So that said, I'm pretty happy with this build. Let's get right into the battle. What's up, everyone? Here we are for the battle versus Elly. So let's get right into it. I will have this going at 1.5 times speed. This is a pretty long one. And I don't want you all to be sitting here for like 45 minutes while I record this whole thing. So let's get into it. I'm going to pause right here so we can see a preview. So we see on her team the Quack, Sinistcha, Ursaluna, Jugus, Glowbro, and Bellbolt. Also, I do respect also doing them in the order you drafted them, just like I did, because that is base and that's how you do it, to not give away information. And that's not true, but it's just how my brain works. So for Terra's, she obviously knows now that I'm Terra Grass Petra and Terra Water Gothito. And interestingly enough, she is also Terra Water on her Sinistcha. So that's relevant. Things that didn't come. No Arcanine was kind of surprising to me. I don't think my fire resists are very good. In close combat does punch through Tinglu if it's like a Terra fighting set, but I get not being able to fit it on here. I really do. And everything else is pretty normal, like, because it's only seen the middle 3 Screamtail Rambi Fortress coming, but I get why they aren't here. But no Fortress does mean that game I rocks up with Tinglu will be really nice. Because if Quaquaval's more offensive, say, it won't have spin to remove them. Yeah, no Rambi also makes it a little easier, being that Thunderous is the fastest mon in the field right now, which is really nice. And no Screamtail also might make certain sequences easier because I don't have to worry about getting encored into random crap. So with that said, let's get back into the battle itself. See her, she leads Iconic, which is the Quaquaval, as I just lead Arias, the Thunderous. So a very safe lead for me. I'm pretty sure I just Thunderbolt here, just like, yeah, I just Thunderbolt. I don't want to risk this thing doing anything stupid. Obviously, it's forced out, because even if it's with Con or Scarf, it doesn't want to get T-Waved on turn 1. So I just fire off a free Thunderbolt, start, getting some chip on stuff, gauge some damage. In comes Bella Bussy, which is obviously the Bella Bolt. So Firebolts come off, do a bit of damage. I believe, if I remember, this damage indicated max HP and likely not Spadef, or at least not much Spadef in it, which is good to know for later. It means it's probably physically defensive, which for Azumarill, which I have to be careful of. Also means it's a bit less effective into Volcarona, which could be relevant. Now I just go back from my my Thunderous into Tinglu, because why not? It's quick Soak, which is kind of a cool attack, I have to admit. But Tinglu is so fat, even a super active Volt Switch isn't going to do shit to me. So I just stay in, is I'm pretty sure. There was like, okay, you may do what, like 35 or something like that with the Volt Switch. Yeah, so I stay in. I'm pretty sure it's good. Yeah, I go for EQ here just to. And just give some damage. I probably should have Rock Steer, but I think it's fine. So in it will come. We will see. If she goes into say, should I get the Earthquake? This does tell me it's bulky. I'm pretty sure it's told me it was Fizznet, but it might not have told me fully because it's such a, like, isn't the attacks gonna do so little anyway? So I'm in here. I'm pretty sure it's Whirlwind because I just don't want to let it do anything. But I might switch out to something. And I'm pretty sure I stayed in with Whirlwind because I'm like, I'm not that scared of you. Like, I just don't want you to do HEs to me. I would rather just force it out now and try and get myself in a better position. So she is going to Terra here into Terra Water, which makes sense in case I have a Dark move, which I very well could on this set. Into Seisha, I'm not packing like a real Dark move, I'm packing Ruination, but you know, it clicks Scald, which I don't really understand this play because she had soaked me into a water type, meaning that Scald just does like nothing. If she went for Machagacha, I think I would have been more surprised, but as we'll see where she does actually have it. Bellbolt gets brought in here, which is a little annoying because now I've taken her Volt Switch. If I stay in, I'm pretty sure I switch. I'm trying to remember. Again, it's been like 5 days since I played this game, but obviously I don't want to let my Tinglu get too low because then I become really weak to Jugulus. I might have stayed on this one though. No, I got the Thunderous right. Do got the Thunderous here. Just like Thunderous, as good as it is, health isn't the most important thing on it, but it does go for Slack Off here, which actually helps me a lot. So that's nice. I'm pretty sure it's Grass Knot, right? Grass Knot is stronger than Sludge Wave into this thing because it's really heavy for some reason. It's actually Grass Knot slightly stronger, so we get a good chunk of damage, like 35 to 40%. It's just gonna Volt out. Does some good notable chip to me. It's like around 40%, I think. But she doesn't have the greatest things to bring in on this. But she does bring in the Slowbro, which indicates that I'm a Life Orb Thunderous has probably a more physically defensive set. Not physically, sorry, special defensive set or Assault Vest. Because if it's like not, Life Orb Thunderous, Thunderbolt does a ton to this thing. So I just go out to Tinglu again because, again, I don't really need to risk getting my other pieces yet. I mean, she can't really break Tinglu of anything, so why should I waste my health on anything else? Okay, in the Tinglu, it just goes for Shell Sidearm, just a chip. Does unfortunately get the Poison, which nullifies my leftovers, which is pretty annoying. But that's okay. It is 30%, it's not like that unlikely. And here I just finally get my rocks up. I'm just like, screw this, you're switching around so much, I'm just getting my rocks here. She goes back into the big suck, which is Seisha. And I get these up, which is really nice. I am a bit more afraid of Seisha now because I am actually weak to the Scald instead of resisting it because I've not been soaked right now. I'm pretty sure I'm just still really scared of it Calm Mind. So I'm pretty sure it's Whirlwind anyway. Because like, this thing getting Calm Mind off is just terrifying. Yeah, so I just Whirlwinded here. It does cook the Scald. It's going to do a chunk, but surprisingly not that much. I mean, even with the Terra Water giving it stab, I'm a Spidef Tinglu. Like, you're not doing that much damage, especially because we know it's like a very bulky set and not a lot of offensive investment. And in comes the Jugulus. Forcing it to take rocks is really nice for the end game. Because with how hard this thing is for me to switch into, the amount of times it can come into the game is very important. Pretty sure I stay in, I just roll in again. Yeah, force it out. Take the Hurricane. It actually does kill. I believe that did reveal it was specs because I'm a Spidef Tinglu doing like 30%, 35% with that is specs. So that lets me gain something for free. So she does take the first KO of the game. Pretty sure I go Fundy here because I don't have a great R answer. Yeah, I go Fundy. And now I'm just going to Sludge Wave for the middle ground. Covering potential Bellbolt switch in. But actually, the Slowbro comes. They're just pretty annoying, but it's fine. Also, Sludge Wave isn't going to do jack shit to this. It's very fat. There's like maybe like 8%. I take more from Life Orb than for that, which obviously I don't look like I'm in the best position right now, but I think I'm okay. Still, I still have a lot of pieces available. So I am going to go hard into Petron here because I don't think it's doing the psychic move here. It could, but I don't know if it even has psychic move based on how she's been playing it. So let's go into my level labyrinth, and she shell sidearms again. Pops my balloon, which could make Ursaluna a little more annoying in the end game. And I'm just gonna parting shot this time. Parting shot out into my Azumarill. Because not quickly shell sidearm on my Petron this turn. There just makes no sense to do that. She has actually a Fire Blast. She misses, which is unfortunate, but we haven't done that much anyway. So I just click the freest knockoff of all time here. Because based on the damage, I'm pretty sure this thing's AV. And so knockoff just clean Okos this thing if it stays in. Obviously, if it was like some sort of Spadef set and it was Colbert instead, I could have been in trouble, but I'm pretty sure it's Assault Vest based how she's been playing it at this point in the game. And he comes out, I just click my knockoff and do a ton of damage to the Seisha. And it does show to be Helmet, which doesn't make sense on a physically defensive set. Pretty sure I just click knock again because it should be in range. Pretty sure I just click knock again just to take my kill here. Oh, never mind. No, actually, I don't think it is. No, it's not in range of knock yet. That's later. So I do just go into Petron eventually. I'm pretty sure. No, sorry. I really should be remembering this game better, but it's been a while. And also, as I said at the start, I'm really sick. So my timer's getting low. I do go into Petron. Just don't want to risk it potentially having Matcha Gotcha and living the knockoff on a little bit. Because all we've seen out of the set so far is Scald. And here it reveals to be Rest, which is very interesting. I kind of get it into like Toxic Petron and stuff, but Model Attack is an interesting choice. So I just moved the chain here, get off a ton of damage into this thing. You get off like 40%, 45%. Does go for Sleep Talk, gets off a Calm Mind, so I can't really stay in now, which is annoying. But I am just going to Parting Shot out, bring it back down to regular special attack and +1 Spadef. I don't know if people don't talk about it much. Parting Shot is such a broken move. Oh my god, this move is so dumb. It was so dumb. Let's just switch and go out into Ursaluna, which I'm completely fine with. So I can just Parting Shot out here and go right back into Azumarill and click a button. Right back on Azumarill, just click the big waterfall button, and nothing really wants to take this at all. It does really flame Ursaluna, so it's some sort of breaker set, but I mean, a water move Okos this thing, so it can't really stay in. Especially because she knows I'm banded from the knockoff damage on Seisha, so. Guess I just go for my waterfall, no reason not to. And yeah, this just quitting 2 kills from like 55, which is great. Azu just does so much damage with a choice band, it's insane. Click it again, and the Seisha goes down, which is one of the biggest threats in prep, so I'm really happy to see that gone. Also, it's her Terra Captain out of the way as well. So the Silver comes back in, because even with it being like a more Spadef set, it does live the waterfall after rocks with like that max HP investment, so I am forced out here. I could play for the flinch, but risking Azu like that is just a really bad play because I'm so reliant on it in this end game. Let's go back to Petron again. Because again, this cycle favors me with the rocks up, so I don't really care if what she does here. She looks the psychic move fair enough, but I don't think it's particularly likely here because Azumarill is such a big threat. So she has to chill sidearm. She's throwing her play. Yeah, I'm just gonna Parting Shot because again, it's like the freest thing ever. She just stay in, which is a little annoying, but it's fine. Because the Assault Vest means that Shadow Ball isn't gonna do that much to it. So we get in my Volcarona though. It's a shield sidearm, do a good chunk to me, no poison, which is nice. Absolutely Quiver Dance. And I'm thinking in my head here, there's no way this thing gets rock coverage, right? I shouldn't look up if it gets rock coverage. And then it gets rock coverage, and I'm like, well, shit. Even with it being a super bulky set, Rock Blast, if it gets 3 hits, it's going to knock me out. So I just have to click a button here. As I know Bug Buzz, my best way to hit his thing is just Fiery Dance, so I just click that, try and get some chip. It's not going to do much. So Rock Blast Slowbro is a really cool tech. Very well played by Elly on that one. Very well played, yeah. Morning Sun wouldn't get me far here. I could fish for a miss. It's not really worth it. So get off like 30%. It's okay. But yeah, it's going to take me out of Rock Blast. So not an ideal situation, but that's okay. Volcro hasn't done that much these 2 weeks, but it will show up later, I am sure. This is just really good prep against it from the Rock Blast Slowbro. So in comes Azumarill, and now this thing's in range, so I can just click a button again. I don't know why I was hovering Aqua Jet. I never click Aqua Jet here, obviously. Pretty sure it's Waterfall, yeah. There's like no switch into this. I have no reason to knock. Knock lets him potentially Quackle Ball for free, which isn't ideal. So I just take out the Slowbro, which it did do its job. You know, it stopped Volcro, so that's good. But taking out Slowbro is really nice for Thundurus later. And Jugulis comes back in again. This thing's terrifying, but we takes the Rocks chip. I am forced to sack here. So I do go into Petrorunt. So like this thing's a fucking problem. We'll see. Just with Hurricane, it does miss, but that's Hurricane. So, you know, it's 1 for 2 right now. Can't be too mad about it. So it's just gonna click it again. Is it's specs that we know it's specs has to click again. He hits this time. I survive on 27. I don't think that was a roll. I'm pretty sure I always lived that. Get Moon Chain. I do get off the Toxic here. So that's a bit unfortunate for her, but I mean, 2 out of 3 Hurricanes ain't too bad, in my opinion. Then I just try and recover because that's my best play. It doesn't really matter. Does not hit himself in confusion, so his the third of 4 Hurricanes knocks me out. And then after that, it will go down Toxic, so Petrorunt and Jugulis will trade with each other, which is really nice. This again, Jugulis is such a gigantic problem in this endgame. So it is, I believe, 3. Yeah, it's now 3-3. So we both have to decide what we're going to bring in on Double Down. And I ended up deciding to go into Gothitelle. Because into both Quackleval and Ursaluna, it's really strong here. And she sends out her Ursaluna, which is really big for me. Bring in the Gothitelle, and this thing is now trapped. And with me being the physical defensive set in Terra Blast, I can pretty easily beat this. I have a bit of speed, so it's unlikely it's faster than me unless it's throwing a ton itself. So I just go for the Terra Water here. Get this thing up and ready. And Goth is going to do the Goth thing and eliminate the gigantic problem to my team. This is why I drafted this mom. It's like just being able to eliminate any one giant issue is so nice. Clicks Earthquake instead of Facade, which is a bit weird. I don't really get that play, but I guess like maybe I could be Helmet, but I don't. It has to have Facade as Flame, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It just would have gotten me lower on health. So I just Terra Blast again because I can't switch anyway, so it's not like I have to worry about a Quackleval double. So I just kill this thing. Like, just need to remove this thing from the game because that makes my endgame cleaner. The thing wasn't that much of a threat anymore anyway, but just taking it out is really nice. Now I have to see what she comes into to revenge this. Is in fact the Bellable in here. We actually, I don't think I commented earlier, but it is heavy duty moves because I've been taking rock damage from all this. So that's useful to note. And I'm going to taunt this because my one lose con here is this thing getting back up to full health and then not being able to break it. So by taunting it is really good. I do Psychonaut. In hindsight, I should have rested because this chip, I mean, chip's relevant actually. It's pretty relevant because it gets it low and it can't heal, but I probably should have rested because then I can go out to Quackleval and I get up to full and then I'm just in a really strong position, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter that much. But yes, I think resting instead of psyching was objective with the better play there. In comes the Quackleval. I just go out to Azumarill because I can't risk it being like Scarf or anything. So I just go Azu and I just quick play rough because I mean Bellable dies at this range, Quackleval dies, I just quick play rough to win. Just quick U-turn, revealing it's probably Choice, and the damage isn't Bandits, revealing it's probably Scarf. It doesn't have to be choice to have U-turn this matchup. Obviously, if a Gothitelle, you want to be able to get out of dodge, but who's in clicks player up on the Bellable. I do not get stacked, which is big. If I got stacked, it would have come down to a full power and a miss on the Quackball, but it would still obviously be in my favor. Quackball comes back in, and I just click player up again, and I finish off the game. It clicks Brave Bird, which was a roll if it got a Moxie Boost into my Thunderous, but it does not. No crit, and Azumarill going to finish off the game. So Big Azu picking up 4 kills this game, and just kind of breaking down our entire team, giving me the 2-0 victory. So I'm up to 1-1 minus 1 in EC. That brings Elly down to 1-1 plus 2, so she's still a bit ahead of me in the standings. But I'm pretty happy with this. Of course, the capture card froze right after that, but luckily it made it to the end. And just like y'all have made it to the end of this video, week 3 will be up against Hutch, and he's looking out to come take me down because I may have called him out for his Terramon being bad repeatedly, and it's pretty good to me, so we will see how that goes. Of that's everything. Have a great night, everyone. Check out all the REC coaches in the description. And make sure to like and subscribe to my channel too, so you can be back for week 3. I have some really cool prep for week 3, so I hope you'll come back and see it. Have a good day, everyone.